bom dia. Eu acho que posso começar. Gente, eu vou pedir uma desculpa para começar. Ontem foi o meu aniversário, então, claro que eu sou inglês e precisava sair, tomar uma cerveja. Um pouco com ressaca hoje, por isso eu tenho o Alberto aqui ao meu lado para me ajudar. Também, eu vou falar inglês, desculpa, mas eu acho que pode ser mais fácil, a gente pode fazer mais rápido falando em inglês. Okay, I'll do the switch now. Sorry, it's always difficult to make that mental shift. But actually, I haven't got a lot that I want to say. Actually, I think the whole purpose of us being here is to bring a little bit of the consumer perspective to the event. And, well, this is us. We are, TWR, a research company. We hate the word research and market research probably as much as everyone else does in the room. We are critical of it. We try and do it differently. We try and think about it differently. From London, we've now been here for 3 years in Brazil. Alberto here alongside me is part of the team. I just want to say thank you, firstly, to Lara and Deborah, who are also sat here, who have probably put most of the work into this presentation and getting the material together. And I can just stand here and look reasonably clever, but actually they're the guys who've done all the hard work. To get started, I just wanted to show a short piece of film. You know, I'm very lucky in that I do get to split my time between here in Brazil and back in London. I was in London in the summer. We were working on a project for Microsoft, which was one of those kind of horrible trends pieces looking at what's happening in people's lives and, you know, the way technology is impacting upon our lives. And there were just a few clips that came up from the research that I thought were quite interesting and I thought might serve to get us underway this morning. So these clips are going to pass in English. We have got some subtitles here. I thought it might be better, even if your English is good. I don't know how good your understanding of the Manchester accent is, so we thought we'd better put some up there. But don't worry, later on, a lot of the film that we're going to show you is actually from here in Brazil, but these are just some first clips to get us underway. I'm going to... You okay with
the guy who it then transpired on Facebook, she found out he was cheating on her. Transpired on Facebook, so she finds out sitting in work one day, clicks onto his Facebook page, and there's a picture.
Magic. I'll show them. Dun, dun, dun. Wow. That was speed there.
Is it right?
It's his computer.
With him and another girl. So it's all comes out of work. So we then see this girl. Hence, we'll find out who she is and stalk her on Facebook. And then I bumped into her last week in a shop. It was all very embarrassing. But yeah, so it just means you can, and you do that awkward thing where you say to someone, oh, how was your holiday? And they go, how do you know I was on holiday? And you think, oh God, I only know because I've stalked her on Facebook. Well, I have actually done this, but it's just become acceptable now, I think. People come up to me and say, oh, have I seen you on Facebook?
What I can't get my head around is that boys can sit here and not talk and play on the computer, whereas if the girls come round, I can't sit here just watch telly with them. I'd have to chat, so Facebook is kind of a social thing as well. If my friends come round, we might get Facebook out on the laptop and we'll have a nosy and we'll have a gossip. And
Facebook has been again another gift and a curse. I think when I first joined, it was a joy to, every Saturday night upload pictures of me scantily clad with like 7 of my mates, drunk at a bar or whatever. And then it kind of changed, and obviously through doing my teaching and networking with other teachers, sharing work and different lesson plans and stuff. And then over the last couple of months, I started deleting friends and making my social network smaller. Because this whole scare about people being able to rip off your pictures and Facebook owned your pictures and stuff like this was coming up in the tabloids. So I removed all of my pictures apart from my makeup work. So I'm purely using it now to market work-related talk.
Wow. Just 3 very quick clips, but I think they go to summarize a lot of the things we want to discuss this morning. You know, just immediately you can start to see that some of the different relationships, and I think what's also important is some of these evolving relationships with social networks. You know, maybe they start out as one thing for us and then they change into something else. Maybe we encounter new social networks, we start to use them differently. But I think another thing that's key, another thing I want us to talk about, is some of these kind of new ethical dilemmas we're confronted with as consumers, as we have these new opportunities and new technologies available to us. You know, 10 years ago, we didn't have to make that decision, that horrible decision about, you know, your boss's wife sends you the invite to be her friend on Facebook. Geez, you know, that must be sort of the ultimate contemporary dilemma. As I said, a lot of this has come about from some work that we've been doing for Microsoft, other bits of work we've done for Nokia, an interesting project we're doing at the moment with, it's kind of the British government, DFID is their International Development Agency, and we're doing some work there looking at young people's social networking lives and how they use that to connect with developing countries. So all of these issues were coming up in the summer, and doing those interviews in the summer I think were really interesting to me. It also just kind of coincided with some other stories that were coming up in the British press, but also here in Brazil. You know, I just picked 3 very quick examples. You know, the sort of media scares and the panics, and we're not too sure about some of these social networks, and I know Joshua kind of referred to that. It's a classic case of, you know, traditional media versus new media, and, you know, traditional media creating the scares about what new media is and the dangers. I also, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about the implications to the workplace, because I think this is where a lot of these social networking issues actually come to the fore. And there was a really interesting case in England of, I don't know if any of you have played this game on Facebook called the lying down game, where you have to lie down in a strange place, take a photo of yourself and then post it on Facebook. Well, actually some health service workers were suspended from their jobs because they kind of got caught posting photos of themselves on Facebook, which I guess would have been okay, but they posted the photos of themselves lying down in the hospital. So, you know, kind of got caught out doing that. Then coming back to Brazil a couple of months ago, I was interested in how, you know, some of these issues about the workplace have come up here in Brazil as well. I know that there was this story about Global and talking about whether their artists or, you know, their workers should be able to blog or post personally about their own opinions. And again, I think there's all these different new negotiations that are going on, and you know, I think a lot of it relates to what Joshua was talking about as well. The other thing that I find interesting is a lot of the work that I've certainly picked up on, a lot of the information that I seem to be picking up on, it's very kind of numbers focused, it's very focused on data, statistics, and it's a world which generates its own numbers. You know, you can see from what Joshua was talking about how YouTube allows you to go in and do your own research around numbers. You know, I've just picked a couple of examples here again from here in Brazil where, you know, we can look at the number of people who've signed up to a Twitter account in the last year. Actually, I think what interests us is, you know, for you guys who are working in communications, you guys who are working on behalf of brands, you guys who are in marketing, and again, I know all these boundaries are blurring into one these days.